In tonight's headlines, the Consumer Council warns that most of the lipsticks it tested contain substances that could be harmful. There's a setback for Taiwan as the Pacific Island of Nauru establishes diplomatic ties with China.
Lipsticks are the usual go-to items for people wishing to make themselves look better. But the Consumer Council warned of potential health risks. It tested 30 lipsticks, lip tints, and liquid lipsticks, and found that 24 tested positive for mineral oil saturated hydrocarbons, or MOSH mixtures, and their analogues. Products from MAC, Opera, Chanel, and Gucci were found to contain MOSH levels that did not comply with European standards.
Whether it will bring immediate health risk, it will not, because it accumulates in your body, and in the long term, it may have impact, to your internal organs, as it is not bringing you immediate health impact. So what we believe is, just to give you a peace of mind, it may not be necessary for you to dispose the lipstick immediately. Reasons being is, it will not create an immediate risk.
At least 2 allergenic heavy metals, including nickel and cobalt, in 8 samples either reached or exceeded the recommended level of 1 milligram per kilogram. Fragrance allergens were detected in samples from Givenchy, L'Oréal Paris, Lancôme, Gucci, Maybelline, Claire de Paul, and Charlotte Tilbury.
If you are allergic to it, probably, you will have the effect, after you put it onto your lips already. So if you have that side effect or negative effect, it is better, for you to suspend, using the lipstick.
The consumer watchdog said people who often lick their lips should check the ingredients of their lipstick. It added that lipstick should be wiped off before eating and drinking to avoid ingesting mineral oil and allergy-causing substances. Janice Low, Cable News. The Consumer Council tested 40 probiotic dietary supplements and found that 25 samples were not labeled properly according to the International Voluntary Guidelines.
The worst one is, has no information at all, nothing about the genus, species, and also the strain, nothing about, the quantity. It just simply say, it is probiotics, which is very undesirable. And 20 only labels the genus, and 2 didn't label, the quantity.
Some probiotics claim to be suitable for children, including newborn babies, prompting a warning from the watchdog.
We believe that newborn babies, the intestinal functions and the whole body immune system is not fully developed yet. So we do recommend breastfeeding or baby powder formula, and we don't recommend baby intaking any other substance, including probiotics, because historically breast milk has other ingredients that help a child to grow and all that.
Former care worker Cheng Shuk Ching has been sentenced to 18 weeks in jail, and fellow worker Lee Wai Sum was given a 16-week term in connection with a child abuse scandal. They admitted that they ignored abuse by former colleagues at a center run by the Society for the Protection of Children. Judge Wong Si Lai said the women, in their 50s, had to serve a deterrent sentence because their silence encouraged child abuse. The pair were among 34 care workers arrested for bullying and intimidating children at the center in Mong Kok between September and December 2021. They faced a total of 407 charges of ill treatment or neglect. 2 others who appeared in court this morning were remanded in custody pending sentencing. Crystal Chow and Ng Ka Wing pleaded guilty to 24 charges of child abuse involving 17 children under the age of 3. Janice Yu, Cable News. A number of roads will be closed on Sunday as 74,000 runners pound the streets in the Standard Chartered Marathon. Participants will set off from Nathan Road in Tsim Sha Tsui at 6 a.m. for the marathon and 20 minutes earlier for the half marathon. The 10-kilometer event will start at the Eastern Island Corridor, and the wheelchair race will begin at the Wan Chai Sports Ground. The finish line for all events is at Victoria Park. Special traffic and transport arrangements will be taken. Roads which will be used for the races, including the Tingma Bridge and Kwai Ting Road, will be closed in phases starting at 11:30 p.m. on Saturday. All roads are expected to be opened gradually after 1 p.m. on Sunday. There will be 28 special bus routes, while the MTR will begin operating earlier to take runners to their starting points.
Nauru has switched diplomatic recognition from Taiwan to China. David Adiang, president of the tiny Pacific island, said his country recognizes only one China. The foreign ministry in Beijing welcomed Adiang's decision, saying the one China principle is taking hold around the world. Nauru's move is seen as a diplomatic coup for Beijing, while Taiwan is now recognized by only 11 countries. It comes 2 days after William Lai from the independence-leaning Democratic Progressive Party was elected president of the island. More deaths and destruction have occurred in Gaza on the 100th day of Israeli attacks in response to Hamas raid in October. The Palestinian death toll has reached 24,000, with most of the victims women and children. More than 60,000 Palestinians have been wounded, and thousands more are buried under the rubble of buildings flattened by Israeli bombs. During a visit to Egypt, Foreign Minister Wang Yi called for talks to end the hostilities. He also pressed for a ceasefire and the establishment of a Palestinian state. Palestinian supporters demonstrated in major cities around the world to mark the 100th day of the Gaza crisis. Protesters in Lisbon said Palestinians have been subjected to occupation and apartheid for more than 7 decades. In London, participants in a pro-Israel rally called for the release of hostages held by Hamas.
The Beijing Stock Exchange opened a new chapter today as it launched its corporate and enterprise bond market. It got off to a good start with 3 enterprise bonds worth almost 2.5 billion yuan issued on the first day of trading. The new market is seen as an important milestone in the development of the Beijing Stock Exchange. Its issuance of government bonds has already topped 5 billion yuan,